moving directly into the highway portion of the test loop since the twisty road was closed. So we've got a new entrance here to try out. The first thing I noticed is that the set speed is 75, which is the highway speed, but normally it's set to a lower amount on the on-ramp and then gradually increases. So I imagine if I wasn't following cars, it would have taken this corner quite fast. As I move into the merge lane here, I can already tell that it's going to try to get past this car because the car in front of me had already moved over. So I ended up having to take it off of autopilot and move over manually. Otherwise it would have accelerated very quickly past these cars and kind of been a jerk. Get a little confused here at the end of the merge lane. It started to signal to the left, then stopped. Then after the truck passed, it signaled again, but a car behind the truck accelerated into that spot and then kind of blocked the position, wouldn't let me in. Now, I did eventually cancel the signal. I'm not exactly sure how long it would have sat here with the signal on. After a minute, it seemed to get into the swing of things and started to navigate through traffic. And as usual, it did a great job of merging through traffic, finding good spots, and merging smoothly. Autopilot seems to use the right lane pretty often now if it's open to accelerate past traffic, which is legal in Virginia, and it's a pretty good option when people won't get out of the left lane. So here's an interesting scenario. I'm in the right lane, which it had chosen as a faster lane, and the pickup truck in the middle lane is coming up. Now the car could have chosen to go into the middle lane and then to the passing lane to go around the left side. Instead, it stayed in the right lane, which is okay because the silver car in front of me was moving faster than the truck. However, when we passed the truck, it didn't feel it had enough space, and eventually the truck gained on me and the car in front of me, so it got kind of locked in this lane. This type of scenario actually happens quite often. Coming up on the left, I can see that traffic is stopped, and there's no cars on the right. If I was driving, I would have moved into the middle lane to be able to get past this stopped traffic. At this point, now that it's pretty much stopped, it's unsafe to do this. I am glad that it won't try an unsafe move like moving into the middle lane during this situation. Interestingly, apparently some cars that were further back decided it would be better to just drive down the shoulder. I let Autopilot decide whether to let them in or not, and apparently it decided they didn't exist, which was perfectly fine with me. Autopilot has a feature where when it sees cones, it will try to move out of that lane away from them, which is okay in most cases, but on I-95 there's always cones on the side of the road. Kind of wish there was an option to either disable that or change the sensitivity. You can see our buddy up here using the side of the road again instead of his brakes. Here I can sit back and let Autopilot do what it does best: traffic. Right here we're about a mile away from the exit, and I know that this exit is going to back up, and it would have been a good opportunity if you're being cautious to get behind that white truck. it chose not to and continue on, which is okay. There's probably going to be some opportunities to move over, like this spot right here, which it also did not take the opportunity to. In fact, it tried to pass that car and wedge itself between this car and the pickup truck in front of it. However, there wasn't enough space there, and the person was a little upset and was trying to close the gap. Eventually, I had to kind of push the accelerator down to get enough space in there to have it move over. So kind of a jerk move from the car's part. It had a couple of opportunities there that it should have taken. With that said, it generally does a pretty good job of deciding when to move over, as you saw throughout the video in high speed. It does a lot of lane changes and it does them really well. Sometimes it just kind of acts like a jerk. So overall, not a heck of a lot of change here. You'll see as it comes up to this split here, it isn't quite sure where it should go, and it gave up and made me take over. But overall, it did pretty much the same job it did the last couple of versions and pretty much throughout 2020. So it's really good on the highway, and it is great for traffic. Thanks for watching.